Check 1, 2. Hey everybody, and welcome once again to Wizard World Virtual Experiences. I am one of your regular hosts, Mike G. Mike G does things. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram if you want to get those early questions in for those panels. This is Wizard World Rewatch Wednesdays. Each and every week we rewatch some of our favorite moments from the clips from the panels from the past weekend, and we just nerd out over it. So feel free. Sometimes we have special guests with us. We're very excited to have some of those guests joining us next week to kind of hang out. But feel free to chat in the chats. I'll read some out. Shahar is watching right now. Says hello and good day to everyone from Israel. Go ahead and shout out in the comments where you're watching from, what state, what country. No matter what country or state you're watching from. Hopefully you had a nice Halloween weekend here in the US. Hopefully you exercised your right to vote. Obviously we're going through that, but we also have these fun experiences streaming to you completely live and completely free throughout the week. As I mentioned, this past week we were a little light on panels just because of the holiday weekend. We also have Craig from the UK watching, and Adriana from Florida, Cindy from Colorado, Trista from California, Jeannie 4 from Massachusetts in the house. But we had two amazing panels on Saturday. We talked to some of the cast members of Game of Thrones with our very own Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comic book history. I think that's how he says it. He does it better than me. And then a 60s flashback with some of the cast members from some of your favorite 60s and 70s TV shows and musical acts. That happened on Sunday with our very own Jerry Milani as host. So we're going to watch some of those today. Those are from the past weekend. And then we have this rewatch party Wednesday. We do some trivia on Thursdays. So join me tomorrow night for Wiz Quiz. It's completely free. And you can win autographs from your favorite celebrities. And then we're back again this weekend. We have a loaded and packed weekend coming up, which I'll let you know at the end of this panel. Houston in the house. What's up, Andrew DeLeon? But first up, let's hit up that Game of Thrones panel. It was an amazing panel that they covered a whole bunch of things. I know it's been a few years now, maybe a year since the finale, but it's still cool to talk to the cast and just hear about their experiences. They talked about the books and reading the books and their characters and their deaths, their first day on set. So definitely go back and check out the full panel in the video section of our video area on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. But here are some clips, some of our favorite moments. Again, they talked about just reading the books in general, and then they moved on to everyone's, I know, favorite topic in Game of Thrones to discuss and deliberate, and that is the difference between the television series and the books. Now, granted, we didn't get all the books, which I'm still sort of bitter and sore about. Mention in the chat how you feel about the series of Game of Thrones, just the book series never ending, and then the series itself, the TV series, ending not as good as we hoped it would be. But that doesn't mean there weren't some exceptional performances from these actors and some amazing moments throughout the series. So here they are talking about the differences between the Game of Thrones books and the Game of Thrones TV show. Check it out, everybody. Here it is.
So that if you haven't followed the whole series,
True.
Obviously, sadly, as Julian said earlier, if you've read the books, you always feel, oh, why did they do that? Why did they miss that? Why did they just get rid of that character, whatever? Personally, I have to admit, people know this because I've said it so often now, I personally was disappointed because I had expectations from the books, especially in terms of season 5, that never came to fruition for my character, and I was disappointed about that.
Of course.
But, you know, that's history now, so what the heck.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anyone
I
else?
suppose since I haven't read the books, I can't really comment on it, but I thought, you know, what they did was television history. I thought their stuff was absolutely superb. I've seen all episodes many times, and I know there was many fans who were a bit disappointed with the end. Personally speaking, I wasn't. I just thought it was remarkable. I thought the whole thing was remarkable from start to finish.
Excellent. Did you all feel the same?
I would have liked to see Lady Stoneheart in it.
Okay.
It's such a hard thing to do.
True.
I mean, as far as, you know, things working on the page and you know, in that world, and then trying to fit that
into the reality structure. Yes.
Because, you know, and I really understand why they didn't. I really understand why they didn't do it, but I thought it was a great You know, because I don't, you know, I don't know the books really well, but I know that.
Gotcha.
Story,
Of course.
I really liked it. I liked the sound of it.
Of course. Mr. Glover, you were going to say?
Well, I was going to say that, as I said before, I didn't watch it all. But whenever I've turned it on and caught there's an episode tonight, I'll watch it. Every single episode I saw was superbly done. Absolutely superbly done. I can't comment upon the veracity of the whole series of books or upon the veracity of the whole series. All I know is that whenever I saw it, it was superb. And I have to say that the actors department was really, they were so clever with their casting.
Absolutely.
And I that's why I was so very flattered to be asked to be in it.
Of course.
When I saw the talent around me and then saw what they were doing with it, I mean, the sets and everything were fantastic. We know all that. The fights and the money they spent on it was well, not quite enough in my case. the whole the attitude to it was so wonderful from the two producers and writers, and that's why they got it right, and that's why, as you were saying earlier, they were so precise about what they wanted. They knew exactly, and you weren't allowed to have one syllable of dialogue wrong, were you? At the end of it, you could be doing a two-page scene, and if you got an and instead of a but, you did the scene again.
That's right.
They knew precisely what they meant, what they wanted.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
So fun to hear the actors talk about the series. I know the ending was super controversial for fans, but to hear some of them say, you know, it really was remarkable, the things that they did do. And there really was some truly beautiful moments. And I hope we can go back to that series at some point as fans, and rewatch it and just experience those best moments and not stress too hard about the end. Jazz Beebley says, PDX in the house. Shout out to Oregon in the house. Congratulations on your legalization of mushrooms, I guess. Craig says, Miltos's dog does not like me in Klingon costumes. Craig Linkasa, watching on YouTube. What's up with your relationship with Miltos's dog? I like it. And Ginny4 says the character names in the book were so hard to remember, but with the series, you could put a face to the name. Yeah, and one of the actors pointed it out. Just the casting was pretty superb throughout, and you really saw those characters in the book be brought to life. We're going to get to some more from the Game of Thrones panel right now. So they continued again to talk about their experiences on set and their deaths. Definitely go and check that out in the full video. But we love this moment at the very end where they talk about Victor, our moderator, asked them what house is their favorite. What house would they like to be a part of, which is always fun. It's like the Harry Potter houses, the Game of Thrones houses. It's always a fun nerd discussion or geek discussion of what house you would belong to or be a part of. So here are those actors. Kai Southern says, we all need more dragons and shrooms. Yeah, boy do we. I think you'd take the shrooms first and then you see the dragons. But here they are all talking about what houses they prefer. Check it out.
Murray, I have a question for you. Everyone else was associated with a house in the world of Westeros. Obviously, being a part of the Free People, you were not. Is there a house that you would have associated with freely? Obviously, before the conjoining with the Starks after you guys crossed over the wall. Is there one that you would have been like, definitely, I'm a Lannister, I'm Targaryen? Which house would you have been a part of?
No, absolutely not. I refuse to kneel.
That's right. I love that. What about the rest of you guys?
Going back to the beginning of the book, my character wouldn't have existed if they'd stuck to the book. So
also true. If you're like, no, change it all. I'm here.
Yeah, no, creativity is a good thing, but no, I'd never kneel to anyone's house, join a house. I don't like that. Joining people's houses.
I love that.
You would in real life, Murray.
Yeah, exactly. But what's the thing that Groucho Marx says about if I wouldn't want to join any club that would have me?
That's brilliantly said. That's brilliantly said. I love that. So are the rest of you happy with your house associations? Would you have wanted to be a part of another one?
I love the Lannisters. I just love them. I was delighted to be part of the Lannister house.
Nice.
As a reader, I was always a fan of the Stark house. You know, that would have been the house as a reader that I would have identified with.
That's awesome.
As a character, I loved, you know, obviously the whole being part of the Stark story is fantastic. But I really liked the Lannisters too.
They're fun. They're a lot of fun. Super colorful.
Part of the storyline which I found the most interesting, because it's all about intrigue and, you know, never knowing who's going to stab. You know, the politics of that whole world was really drew me.
Absolutely brilliant. I love it.
Got it from Shakespeare, you know. Got it from Shakespeare.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So cool to hear that. Some comments from the fans. Craig Lincasa says we probably get an alternate ending once the books are done. Craig, I totally agree. I think while they said that the show creators and the writers said that they were following along with George R. R. Martin's intentions, I think he's just going to. I think it's going to be crafted very differently, and I think there will be some major changes to, like, maybe all the characters that died were supposed to die, but not the way that they did on the show. So it'll be totally interesting if he ever finishes those books, but not counting on anytime soon. Cindy says, if you're going to have a cool pet, have a dragon. Totally. Game of Thrones dragons were some of my favorite dragons until the most recent episode of The Mandalorian. I won't spoil it too much, but just know there is, if you haven't seen it, but there's a dragon. There's a dragon. And it was an awesome creation for the Star Wars universe. Genie 4 says, for me, it would be House Tyrell. Yeah, a lot of fans, a lot of people joined House Tyrell during their whole run, and then ultimate destruction. Shout out your houses in the comments, and we'll see who is your favorite house out there. Some quick reminders. So we had the free panel last weekend. Please go back and watch that whole thing. It's awesome. It's 50 minutes of Game of Thrones glory. We have the rewatch party. We're hanging out tonight. We'll have some trivia tomorrow, some Game of Thrones trivia. So come by if you think you're good at that. Completely free to play, like I said. And then this weekend, on November 7th, Saturday, November 7th, these gentlemen are all doing one-on-one video chat. So that's a paid experience. You have to pay extra for that, but it's a fun treat to give yourself or a loved one. Julie and Ian, both Ians, Ian and Ian, Hamiltos and Murray will be there for those one-on-one video chats. So definitely take advantage of those. Are on sale through Friday, in addition to autographs and video recorded messages, photo ops, things like that. So we can't wait to get back to physical conventions. But in the meantime, we're trying to provide a bunch of free content in addition to paid content that helps us stay as alive as a company, so that we can bring you fun Comic-Cons in the future, and also helps out these actors. A lot of the actors are out of work. We're just getting back to work, so it's helping them out as well. And some of them are donating to charity and things, so definitely check that out. That's at wizardworldvault.com. Again, wizardworldvault.com. Craig says Tremors. It was totally Tremor vibes, Craig. That was the first thing I thought when I saw the sand rippling. It turned out to be a little bigger. Oh, I love Tremors. Love Tremors. Jazz says Stark. Genie 4 says me too. All right. So those are some moments from the Game of Thrones panel. Again, it's a short rewatch tonight. We also, complete 180, had an amazing 60s flashback. For those of you who remember the 60s TV shows, My Three Sons and Leave It to Beaver, we had Jerry Mathers himself, the Beav himself, on, in addition to Dawn Lynn, Stanley Livingston, and Tina Cole from My Three Sons. And then just kind of to make it even more crazy awesome, Mary Wilson from the Supremes was there, and we love Mary. We had her back on a music panel, music of the 60s and 70s kind of throwback panel, and she basically took over from Jerry then. She did it again now. Jerry Milani knows, and we love her. She's so interested in people just as much as we were interested in her and her amazing ability. So yeah, great. Thanks. Glad you're enjoying them. So here we're going to take an extreme shift here from Game of Thrones and check out a pretty long clip, 10-minute clip from the panel. They obviously talked a lot before this about their respective shows, what it was like, why we think TV shows were so popular in the 60s, being a child actor, all the guest stars that they ran into. But they end it with Mary asking them a little bit of a personal question about themselves. And then they kind of do a round robin, just talking about their upcoming projects and things they're working on now. Super awesome, super cool. So here it is, Mary Wilson taking over from Jerry, moderating the 60s flashback panel. Take a look.
In that environment, because we know a lot of people didn't do so well, but you guys all seem so well-rounded and whatever.
You know what? I credit my parents for that. We were in show business, but And they said, look, as long as you're having fun, want to do this, you can do it. If you don't want to do it anymore, just tell us and, we'll get you out of it. And I think going back to public school, prepared us for reality. It was really strange. I used to tell people about this, you're on a show for 12 years and, one of the biggest shows of all time. So everybody knew you. I mean, it was kind of like a dose of being the Beatles, maybe in a smaller way, but I couldn't go anywhere, without, if you went to a restaurant, you were just mobbed, while you're trying to eat. But as the show was getting older, I started thinking, gee, what am I going to do next? And I got interested in behind the camera and directing, producing, and tried to learn everything about that. And then one day, you finally get that notice the show isn't coming back. And the real reality of that set in. You go from being an actor that's esteemed, at least for that, period of time, to the very next day, I got a call from my agent. And he said, oh, I have an interview for you. And so I went on the interview, and I was one of about a couple hundred guys there to do a McDonald's commercial. And I think I had to put a hat on and flip a hamburger. I'm going, wow, that knocked, if you're up on your high horse, that knocked you right back down. I realized right then, you're a star one day and you're back to square one as an actor the next day. And you got to go out and you got to, get your next job and earn your next job. Nobody's going to do you any favors. And if you can't adjust to that, which was a problem that I saw that a lot of my friends had who had series, they just thought the industry owes me a living, and it's not the way it works, man. You got to go out and fight for everything after that and be willing to do whatever it takes to get the next job.
I like that because, parents are something that I feel we need more parenting now, but a lot of times children are left with the television, they're left with the games, they're left with all these little things, and they don't have that really parenting that we used to have.
Yeah, you got to have good parents, unfortunately.
I'm glad to hear you say that because that's
being a member of the King family, that what you saw on television was real. And so I always had that support, and we were together. We worked together, we played together, we went to church together. It was just a very safe environment for those times, because there was a whole other parallel universe, with the drugs and all the, the free love and all this stuff that was going on. And it's like we were traveling the same road, but not in the same universe. It was interesting, but it was a very safe, I always felt very safe because of that.
Great. Well, I'll let you know, right now I'm involved in several things. I have a new book out. Well, it came out last year, but it's kind of new because of the pandemic, but it's called Supreme Glamour. It's my third book. And I'm very proud of it because it's about how the Supremes were glamorous and all our gowns and things like that. So I'm very proud of that. That's my latest project. I have I've learned some of the technology, and I have a new YouTube Mary Wilson channel, which is like blowing my mind because I don't know anything about tech. And I have a Supreme YouTube channel coming up. And I'm also working on, I want to put this up, I'm working on getting Miss Florence Ballard, the original founding member of the Supremes, a stamp. She passed away in 1976. And so I just want all the fans who like Supremes, let's help get this honor for her. It would be so wonderful to have a U.S. stamp for her. So that's my latest project. And of course, I love my grandchildren. I can't wait to see them again because it's been since March. And so that's really pretty much everything. That's a couple of things I've been doing. Where's that boy?
Awesome. Sounds like someone has the news on or something in the background. Do you have anything on in the background? Yes. Jerry, tell us what you've got going.
Well, I do a lot of appearances. I talk about having diabetes, which was something I got because after I finished the new Leave It to Beaver, which was in the early 80s and 90s, I started businesses, and one of them was a catering business, and I put on a lot of weight, and I just thought, this is the good life. And all of a sudden, a friend of mine that's a doctor said, why don't you come in and we'll give you a physical? And she said, you've got probably 6 to 8 years to live because you have raging diabetes. And it's probably because of your weight. And I kind of went, wait a minute. I lost some weight. I'm now a lot more healthy. I'm not on insulin, but I do have to watch what I eat. But, you know, it's something that I can talk about and use my, celebrity to be able to tell people that if you're overweight, you better go into a doctor at least every year, if not every 2 years, to get checked for a lot of things, because as we get older, those things come up and smack you right in the mouth.
I hear you. Stanley, any last words?
Sorry, I think I got knocked off. Somebody called me and
But you're back.
Here
you
I'm
are.
back. Figured out how to get back in. That took a couple minutes. Well, for me, like I said, I got started with trying to figure out how to go on the other side of the camera when I was about 18, 21, formed a production company with another guy, and just been doing that ever since. Occasionally acting comes up. I don't really pursue it, but I've worked as a producer, director, I guess, for probably the last 25 years doing, feature films. I did a Cinerama film, produced a Cinerama film not too long ago, sitting here with a TV pilot that's waiting to go, except COVID got in the way.
Yeah.
So, we were getting ready to start it, and everything got put on hold, and, that's where we're at. So I can't cry about it. Just got to wait till this thing's over, I guess, to get back to work. It's really difficult if you're in the film industry because you're with a group of people. You're either locked up on a soundstage with 30, 40 people in a day, and maybe the crew can wear masks, but the actors certainly can't. And so it's just kind of a dangerous proposition right now. So we'll have to wait and see.
And Tina?
Well, I was singing with my cousins. We were going to do a show as children of the King sisters. We were going to do a tribute to them. We're going to do a full orchestra. We had the venue. We had been rehearsing for a year, doing all of their exact arrangements, every note, it was just really fun and wonderful. And then of course, as Stanley said, COVID came along. So we're hoping maybe next summer that we could do it. I'm writing a book and hopefully I can get that. That's not easy for me. I don't know how you do it, Mary, but I think it's really hard. And I teach a class. So many of the mothers are so overwhelmed right now because they're working from home. They're trying to homeschool their kids and they're tearing their hair out. And I was asked if I would do a class a couple of days a week, just a few hours, and to help the children with their socialization. I do music, I do drama and manners. We're doing etiquette, and we're do like 8-week blocks, and then we have a showcase afterwards. So our showcase is coming up on the 11th of November, so they can show their parents and families what they've been learning. So I'm staying busy, and I've got six grandkids that I'm real busy with too. So life's good.
And Dawn?
Well, my husband and I got married 14 years ago last April, and since then I've been following his career. Right after we got married, we moved to Hawaii from Catalina Island off the coast of California, and then we were there for 4 years, and then we went to 1 year, and then we went to Germany for his job. Garmisch, beautiful place. If you ever get to Germany, go see Garmisch. It's wonderful. And then after that, back to Hawaii for 4 years, and then back to Germany, Stuttgart area. And just earlier this year, we moved back to Los Angeles again for his job, and just doing our best right now to close our escrow and get settled in our new place. That's our focus right now.
That's great.
Which country?
Yeah.
Here, Los Angeles, here.
Oh, yeah, you're back.
Yay!
So,
So I hope to visit you and Paula soon.
Yes.
And I hope I get to see Tina soon. She'll come visit. And of course, Barry.
Yep.
That would be wonderful.
So you can get those virtual experiences with those folks this Sunday. They're on sale until Saturday night. Definitely go back and check out the entire panel. It was a lot of fun to relive some of those memories of some of those old TV shows. And obviously have Mary Wilson there from the Supremes. So check that out in the video section on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, completely free, and it's archived, and all of our videos live there. You can check out all 150. We've done 150 celeb panels since March. It's insane. So definitely take advantage of those. But then if you are able, go to the Wizard World Vault. Again, wizardworldvault.com to purchase those one-on-one video chats, which again will take place Saturday and Sunday for those two panels, Game of Thrones and 60s Flashback. And then also autographs and video recorded messages. Hey, we've got a crazy lineup coming up. Again, tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's Wiz Quiz, hosted by me. It's individual trivia. I ask a bunch of nerdy trivia questions about history and science, and obviously movies and television and films and books and board games and video games. So check that out and purchase those tickets. You don't have to purchase them. You just have to register. It's completely free to play. And we've got prizes from our vault, signed memorabilia from different cast members of different TV shows. So that's tomorrow night. So sign up for that if you want to play some trivia. And then this weekend, we are loaded, everybody. Nothing on Friday, but on Saturday, we've got 9 voice actors from the X-Men animated series, the original, including their creator. That happens at 10 a.m. and 11 p.m. on Saturday Pacific time. We'll be talking to the cast of Starship Troopers, the awesome cult film from the 90s, Land of the Lost, and Baywatch on Sunday. So some fun throwbacks to the 90s there throughout the weekend. Starship Troopers, X-Men, Land of the Lost, and Baywatch, all happening Saturday and Sunday. On Monday, if you can, please hang out with us. We're going to be talking to some pinups for vets. They are cosplayers that do some of those classic pinups, like they used to do back in World War I and World War II, and they actually raise money through their calendar sales for vets. So Veterans Day is on Wednesday, and you can do your part by hanging out with us for free on Monday and purchasing one of those calendars and those experiences with the cosplayers for Pinup for Vets. So check that out on Monday. The panel itself is at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll be rewatching X-Men with Seth and Victor of Hall of Justice podcast next Wednesday. Starship Troopers with 5D hanging out Wednesday as well. And then Bruce Campbell, everybody, is back again next Thursday for a paid trivia experience where you can win a autograph from Bruce Campbell. So that's next Thursday. And then we've got some amazing other things coming up. Power Ranger villains, Pirates of the Caribbean, we just announced, Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, stars from Hallmark movies, and plenty of other things coming up. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, with me. This is our Rewatch Wednesday, where we take a look back at some of our favorite clips from the weekend before. I've been your host, Mike G. You can follow me at Mike G Does Things on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow us at Wizard World on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to be alerted anytime that we're doing these panels. And it was fun hanging out with you on Wednesday. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening, everybody.